What's going on, guys? We're back for another episode. This is a different one. I'm not going to leave this room. I'm going to be sitting at my desk. I'm going to take you guys through my program and the back end and what is driving this ship. So you guys obviously see me training and doing what I do in the gym and just lifting weights and stuff, but what's behind the scenes is what's driving this whole ship forward. I'm going to take you guys through that. I'm going to show you what we're doing at the moment. So for the first time in about 7 years, I'm not working with Jamie Smith, my coach, or my one coach that I've had for the last 7 years. And he's been awesome and he's taught me so much, but I've taken a break because we've opened a gym, and so I've taken a break from that, and Mickey and Will, my coaches at Nexus, they do my nutrition and stuff. I've taken a break from that too because just obviously spent hundreds of thousands of dollars opening the gym. So and my training had also taken a large backseat for a while because of the extra focus put into the business. But now things are back. We're still obviously building up the gym and stuff. So I'm getting Cam to look over my stuff. He's helping me with some of my stuff. I'm putting it all here and I'm just getting him to look through it so that there's an unbiased opinion there to sort of help with my programming, which is one of the benefits. Obviously also not having to think about it, but at the moment I do like thinking about it, and I feel like my programming and my approach is very unique because I'm just very different to most. I don't handle much volume and a usual program would just crush me. So but anyway, I'm going to take you guys through that. So Lockie's going to get a screen up here and we're going to go through everything on my program. So this is the dashboard. This is what we actually use to coach all of our lifters, all of our clients on this platform here. So these are the HUSLA spreadsheets. This is the dashboard, is where I just fill in my daily metrics. So when I wake up, weigh myself, what time I weigh myself, my steps for the day before, sleep duration. I've got a couple of sections in here for blood glucose and blood pressure, just checking that everything is all good there. And this is the dashboard. So I've got stuff filled in here. I've got my average weights and stuff. And then this is a weekly check-in, which I don't fill in to myself because I am myself. So it's right, I'm getting shredded in it. And then let's move through to the program. So I'm going to show you guys the back end of the program. This is the coaching section that it shows the entire block. So all 6 weeks. So if you're unsure, down here is week 1 through to 10. Now we're only doing 6-week blocks. You'll be able to see here how many sets per each week and then the following week, so we can see it all in one place. I also never really I've compacted. I never really put warm-up sets in for my clients. I honestly never do it unless it's required. I've done it here so that you guys can see, and it sort of makes sense because I do film the warm-up set 90% of the time. Day one, we've got day one here. It's very simple. So up here 4, 8, 9 for week 1, and then after that, my 2 working sets are 10 there. That's all we're really doing at the moment in the cut. We're not trying to do anything crazy. We're not trying to build sickening amounts of muscle. I don't want to be burning myself out physically and mentally because we're on very low calories. Really, the goal right now, cutting this fast, the goal is not to really progress from a strength standpoint or a muscle building standpoint, going from squat, bench and dead only to doing converging presses and things with more range of motion and different styles of exercises. We will progress load naturally because we're getting better at the exercise and executing the exercise, but I honestly doubt I'm going to be building any muscle with this low calories, and I'm going to be building any strength up. The goal is not to do the program's not let's hammer, we want to build up our delts, let's put heaps of delts in there. No, we just want to maintain the size of all the muscles right now and make sure that we don't hit a wall 3 weeks into the 5-week cut. That's why we've only got 2 hard sets. That's plenty for me. There's a lot of focus here from me too. So I think this is very possible to do. I'm doing 3 days a week. I've put it through here in as 4 days a week, but I'm only doing 3. I'm going to split the 3rd day into 2 if and when it's required. So there'll be some times where I can't get that because the 4th day is a large day where I can't get everything in. I'll split it up and do it on the Saturday. But I want to try and film it all on the 3rd day and get it all in on the 3rd day because 3 days just works really nice for me. 4 is possible. We'll probably be able to build up to 4, but right now doing 4 every single week, I'm not 100% sure on it. I'm going to go into a little bit of detail, not too much, but a little bit of detail on each exercise and why it's there. So day 1 and 2 are both hypertrophy focused days. They're full body days. We're training several muscle groups in that day. So they're hypertrophy days. We're not doing any squatting, benching, and deading from like a low bar or a sumo deadlift or anything like that. It's pretty much just hypertrophy. We've got the pendulum squat here, which is a stretch position focused quad exercise. And the reason I've got such a large tempo in there is just to help the tendon just take a few steps forwards in this time. Tendons really like slow tempos. They don't like to go in and out of the stretch position fast. And we're doing a tempo 5 down. We've got 6 to 10 rep range in for the pendulums. Then we've got a converging machine press, which I'm actually doing to the contracted position. So as most of you will know, if you don't, when we do a comp bench wide grip, we're hammering the stretch position. So, and the contracted position for me is what keeps the pec tendon happy. So we've got that bias to the contracted position. So we've got one plate in the middle, one plate in the contracted on the prime machine, which are able to actually bias different portions of the lift. That's our contracted position focused press. Then we've got a chest supported machine right now. We're doing this wide grip, elbows flared. We're going for the mid upper back. Same again, 8 to 12 reps here for these two, and up here 10 for the 2 hard sets. Seated hamstring curl, which is a stretch position focused hamstring exercise, which we attack by bending the knee. I'm going to simplify the terminology there, by bending the knee. So you get RDLs, which is stretch position, but you do that from the hip. We're seated hamstring curl, stretch position hamstrings, and then we've got cable rope curls, and then overhead cable tricep extension, which is now my second favorite exercise of all of the tricep extensions. My now new favorite is the straight bar. And that's really nice and feels awesome. So, but anyway, we're doing that. That is going to be stretch position focus, arms overhead, a lot of tension in the stretch position there. Whereas the straight bars will be contracted position focus, which we do on Friday, which is today. I'm about to go and train in a couple of hours. And then lateral raise. So the lateral raise, I'm biasing this to the stretch position. I'm putting the seat really high so that the pad rolls down the elbow. I think I mentioned it in one of my previous episodes. And that's going to be stretch position for the lateral delts. Day 2, very similar. So we've got barbell RDL. We're going to hook grip as many sets as we can until it becomes a limiting factor. 2 seconds on the way down, no pause, normal pace on the way up. That's a 2-0-X-0. X is just explosive on the way. We're doing 8 to 12 reps at RP 6, and then it builds up from 6 to 7, and then from 7 to 8 in the last. So we just want to build that up gradually because we haven't been doing much of it. And it's an exercise I can lift a lot on if we do it properly. We don't want to piss anything off in the process. Now, Monday we had the stretch position focused quad exercise, which is the pendulum, and Wednesday, which is day 2 that we're looking at right now, we've got the HUSLA leg extension, which is going to be contracted position focus. The leg extension hits the quads in the contracted position. We're doing a 4 second on the way down, 0 pause at the bottom, and then roughly 2 seconds on the way up. We don't want to explode on the way up. The tendon on my knee, that's what gets pissed off. So we're not going to be explosive on the way down or up, or the way up mainly, but the way down's got a big tempo. 2 sets at up here, 10, nice and slow, controlled, which you would have seen in my videos. And then we're doing, if you remember, Monday we had the stretch position hamstring curl, which was seated curl. Hips are flexed, so we have lengthened hamstring. And then we've got stretch position lying hamstring curls. We're going to be targeting the hamstrings in the contracted position. That's why they're in. We've got a good spread of stretch and contracted position from the knee and from the hip. We're on with them. They're actually a really good exercise. I enjoy doing them a lot. So then we got a machine incline press. So just hitting the upper fibers of the pecs a little bit as well and build some muscle there. That's all going to help. We do with an arched bench press, we're doing stretch position. The lower fibers of the pecs will be doing a lot. So it's good to just build areas that we don't usually hit as much because they can still help with the movement. They just don't get awesome stimulus when we're doing the comp lifts. So incline press, good time to build up the upper chest, even triceps in there as well, and the delts too. So we're getting more contracted position for the delts as well, especially with the tucked elbow, just getting more range. Lat pull down is stretch position focused, elbows out in front. We're going for the stretch position there. And then a half kneeling cable press and reach is an exercise that we're using just to train the serratus, take the serratus through some range of motion, because it doesn't really get much when your shoulder blades are back and down, benching and doing all these other sorts of movements. And rowing is the opposite. We're training the retracting muscles that retract the scapulars. We don't actually train really at any time unless we're reaching in a press or something like that. We don't really get much serratus. And when we're doing overhead presses, some people will argue that you can, but overhead presses, you usually flared rib cage, ribs are out, you're extended, It's not a really good line of pull there for the serratus to actually do anything for the scaps to pull them forward. So the ribs down, half kneeling, cable press and reach is a really good way to more so isolate the serratus. So that keeps the shoulder happy. And then we've got day 3, which we'll be doing today. Day 3 and 4 is mixed in one. I know it looks massive, but I reckon we can pump through, and then we've got 2 days rest. I'm usually cooked after day 3, and I like doing it on Friday because we've got a good crew here on Friday after hours. It's sick vibes. So I like doing it on Friday, and then I'm cooked on Saturday if I have to do arms, and I don't feel the best. So I'd prefer to just do it after SBD day. So we've got squat, RP 4, 6, 7, nothing crazy, just triples. We've got a 3 down, 0 pause, and explosive on the way up. We've got the pause bench press. We're doing triples, 6, 7, 8. We're pushing that a little bit harder. I want to have, that's my only bench. It's my only comp bench. So that works well. And plus it's not like, in terms of absolute load, it's not a huge lift like my squat and my dead is. So it's not as fatiguing for me. Whereas the other two are quite fatiguing. That's why the RPEs are a little lower. Then we've got sumos, 4, 6, and 7. If you guys don't know what RPE is, I should have mentioned it earlier, but if you don't know what RPE is, an RPE 6 is a set of 3 that you could do 4 more reps of. RPE 7 is a set of 3, you could do 3 more. You're choosing the weight based on the RPE. So we're prescribing the difficulty of the exercise rather than saying, hey, go in and lift 240. It's like, well, how do you know that he's going to be strong for 240? You could have had a massive day and he's not feeling as strong, or he could just be feeling awesome. You should be able to go heavier or lighter depending. So RPE helps you auto-regulate. We're pushing the difficulty, not the load. The difficulty on that specific day will change. It's not going to always be up. It's probably going to do something like that, but gradually we want to see those loads going up with these sets here over the blocks to come. Machine fly, contractor position focus here. We're doing 3 on the way back, 1 pause, and then 2 on the way up. Same thing, we want to keep the tendons happy. The pec tendon doesn't love powerlifting too much, just like the tempo's there. And then we're doing the adductor machine because I've torn them both before, very lightly, but I like to do some adductors after I sumo deadlift. Take them through a bit of range of motion, treat them like a hypertrophy exercise, and try and build some more muscle. They can hopefully be stronger. Then we got a cruisy one. This is pretty much stuff that I'll pump through. If I can, to be honest with you, I would. It's harder to do it with the camera setup because I'm going to move the camera every time, but I'd like to superset them and I can push through. We've got the straight bar, my favorite tricep push down now, contractor position, focused tricep exercise. We've got the straight bar bicep curl. That's what we do on Monday here. We did they're both contractor position focused or contracted. If we go stretch, it's arm behind the back. If we go contracted even more, it's like a preacher curl or a deep squat seated cable bicep curl. But this is arms by the side, so it's somewhere in the middle there, but the tension is the most because the cable pulley is pulling me straight down. The tension is the most at the top. If I took a few steps further away, it'd be even more contracted. And if I took steps forwards or turned around and faced the other way and it was pulling behind me, it'd be more so stretch position. So we got that, then we got the lateral raises again. I'm doing them again, stretch position. We can go to a dumbbell in the coming blocks, but for now, I'm gonna target this. It's a pin. All I gotta do is put the pin in this weight stack. I can do it. It's easy on a large day like this. I don't wanna have to set things up. I just wanna get on a machine and go for it. That's the thing with powerlifting training is easy for myself. It's like I'm loading plates, do a set, take the plates, all the plates off, then go, load another exercise with plates? No, I'd rather just use a pin loaded or even just a machine that you don't need to load many plates onto. That's what actually gives me more motivation to do those exercises. I get better quality out of those exercises as well because I'm actually doing them and I can be bothered doing them because I don't have to bloody load and unload them. So I know it's a small thing, but when you've been doing it for years, it becomes one of those things that you question, should I just skip this? And then you half-ass, pin loaded all the way. Anthea, I want to say force, but she didn't. She said, let's get some contractor position, glutes in and hamstrings in via hip extension. So that's the rounded, it's a back extension, the Atlantis back extension with the cable pulley. So we can load it up with the cable pulley. And then we've got an ab crunch and we'll do them superset just to get a little bit more, I guess, just direct ab work, but also some rotation in as well. Because everything that we're doing here is in the sagittal plane. So getting some stuff outside of the sagittal plane in is going to be helpful as well because it generally helps my rib cage, thoracic spine. I usually get some pains through there when I'm deep into a comp. If I can start now and maintain that sort of movement throughout my programming, hopefully we don't get as much rib pain. We've got more time, should be good. And this is what I will see when I'm filling in. I've filled in week 1, I didn't put RPEs in for most of them because it's just cruisy stuff. There's that, and then week 2 we've started here filling it in properly, and we can see some of these exercises we're lifting more. Most of them we're lifting more or doing more reps of, and that's because I'm getting better at the skill of that exercise. The skill of that exercise, that specific movement is different to what I've been. That's why there's going to be an increase in load or reps in the coming weeks. So yeah, and then I got my day 3 or 4, but day 3, 4 together today at 4 o'clock with the crew, which I'm very excited for. We've got an awesome Friday crew, and you know, the boys help spot me, wrap me, we G each other up. It's really, really awesome. I love it because it's the end of the week and focusing on the weekend. No, let's focus on training with the whole crew coming down. So it's really good. It's a good day. It's a great day to get amongst it here. That's my program. Now I'm tracking my nutrition as well. We've got the day after, 2 days after the competition, weighed in 98.2. I went away on the weekend, so I didn't get to weigh myself, but I was roughly hitting around 2,000 calories on these days. You can see that I started around 98.2, which is what my weight was the week before the competition, before I did the little weight cut. I also came back up, obviously, and then we finished the week a lot lower. We had a lower average. This is my weekly average. This is the main figure that we look at. And then from here, I've been doing 1647, or at least aiming for, and the weekly average is 1750 because I have one high day at 2370. Now, this last week, my weekly average was 1796. So I was a little bit over, but that's because on this day, we went paintballing, and it was like 2 hours of just like running around and shooting. I was cooked after, and I felt like I added a couple of hundred calories there. It would have driven me into a larger deficit and probably affected the following days, already being in such a big deficit. So I increased the calories on that day just a little bit, about, 300, 250. But yeah, we had a 3.88 kilo drop from weekly average last week to weekly average this week. And we're halfway through this next week here, and we're down, well, the average is down 1 kilo. We'll probably see that get closer to 2 as the week goes on. And then I put some notes in here as well, like when I weigh in pre-toilet, usually on those earlier wake ups. I'm not sure what's going on with these, but I woke up this morning at like 7 and weighed in, so I couldn't get to the toilet before that. But the average is coming down really nicely. So this is all really good signs in my eyes. My weekly average here is very good so far. I've got a Bucks tomorrow on Saturday, so I'm going to put my high day there. Last week I did it on Thursday, and then this week I'm doing it on Saturday. So I'm putting that high day where I need it so that I can adhere a little better. So I'm not going to go do the high day. I'm always going to do the high day yesterday on Thursday, knowing that I'm going to go out on the weekend. I've moved it to the weekend because I know I've got that Bucks, which is going to be an all day thing. I'm going to just stock up with some protein drinks, and I'm not going to drink or anything like that. I'm going to have fun sober because this is very important to me. So when I'm going to cut this deep, like there's no room for error. There's no point like absolutely hammering myself with 1640 calories, which mind you is almost 50% from below my maintenance. There's no point doing that and then just absolutely blowing out on the weekends. If I'll go in tomorrow saying, I'm just going to have fun, I'm so bloody hungry that I'm probably going to eat way more than just having fun. I've decided to crack the whip on myself and make sure that I stay focused. There's no room for error in this specific cut, and having tracked calories for like 8 or 9 years now, I am able to do it. I can have fun without drinking. I can have fun without just eating bulk food. My goals right now are the number one thing, and it's really nice to be back in this zone after building the gym. So I'm very motivated. But anyway, that's my plan for nutrition. I'm probably gonna do the exact same thing next week, so I'll update that for next week. And then I've got a little block review section here. So we've got some prompted questions here, which I probably will fill out, to be honest with you, before I write my next block. And if anything is arising, any pains during the block, I can go through and choose one of the exercises from the program that I'm currently doing, and I can put in like that incline press is really hurting my shoulder. And then when it gets time to running the new program, hopefully I have some data that's not just based on, I can't be bothered doing that, I'm not going to take it out or whatever. I actually have some data, this needs to change. And I'm also going to fill this out. So this is how we prompt questions for new programs. Did this exercise feel good on the target muscle? Yes or no? Did you enjoy this exercise? Yes or no? Did you feel you could still progress with reps or load? Yes or no? And then did the DOMs, were they so bad that they affected other sessions? yes or no. Based on that will be, you know, if that gets a really low score, it's time for a new exercise. If that gets a really high score, it stays in. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Doesn't need fixing. This is, there's no data in my nutrition spreadsheet from prior, so it's hard to see, but we've got weight versus calories. So body weight's plummeting, calories are staying relatively, going down a little bit from 2,000. We can see the body weight's plummeting, and then just step count versus body weight as well. It's just good to see if you know, I've done like minimal steps on those, like in that week, and my body weight didn't move, well, it's probably an activity thing. Whereas if my steps are going up, I'm at maintenance, and my body weight's going down, well, it's probably my activity. I probably need to bring the calories up. So it's good data to look at. Haven't uploaded any photos because they're all on the camera on YouTube, but I'll put something together when we finish this cut. And then I don't really need the resources tab here, but if I'm ever strapped for any sorts of foods that I should be eating, we've got protein, carb, fat sources, vegetables, fruits, low calorie options, high fiber options, condiments, meal ideas. So we give this to all of our clients, and why not use it myself? Yeah, I know what I'm doing, but it's good to have something in front of me when the time comes. I've mapped out the entire plan for the year, and I've realized there's only 7 blocks, 7 programs until next pro roll, which puts it into perspective. This might look a little overwhelming, but week 1 is up here. We did a moderate cut of 2,000 calories. Starting body weight, not the weekly average, the starting body weight was that at 98. And then we've got hard cut for 5 weeks. We're currently in the 2nd week, and we've got 3 more weeks. And during this sort of period, we're going to be doing 3 days, 1 hypertrophy. Day 1 is hypertrophy, day 2 is hypertrophy, day 3 is SBD plus arms, 2 hard sets total, and we're running that. And you'll notice that when we go back to maintenance, nothing really changes here. It's probably after the deload here that we go 2 to 3 sets. So we might add a set here and there, we might not. We'll see how we go. And on the right hand side here, I have obviously the nutrition phase that we're going to be in during each week, and then goal weight, what I'm assuming my body weight is going to be after each week, and then what it actually has been based on the weekly average. So we were ahead of 94 here last week, and we're halfway through this 3rd week here, so we'll probably see that come closer to 91. So I've gone for a 4 kilo drop here, a lot of water will come off, then a 3 kilo drop here, again water and stuff, and then from here on out I think it's going to be 2 kilos a week. Going back to maintenance at 87, because when we bring more food back in, we'll probably gain a kilo. 2nd week of maintenance, probably go up another half kilo, and then from there the rate of gain that I'm going to be aiming for is 200 grams a week. I've just set this up to add 200 grams to that each week until I go to Europe. Then I go to Europe. I'm hopefully planning to gain a kilo and no more. We'll see how we go. I want to train 1 to 2 times a week over there. Nothing crazy. That's 5 weeks. And then coming back a kilo heavier, hopefully. I kept 1.2 kilos actually, because it's still got that figure on it. And then from here on out, we'll see that if I can gain 200 grams a week, I'll end up at 96, and I'll be competing at under 95 at the next pro raw. 96 kilos. Haven't pushed it up to 98 again, because there's going to be slip ups throughout this period of time. There's going to be birthdays, there's going to be weddings, there's going to be Europe, there's going to be all of these things where I'm probably going to gain a little faster than 0.2. I've undershot it by 2 kilos with the, I guess, assumption, it's a pretty good educated guess actually, that I'm going to gain a little faster than that in certain weeks. So I've planned out a 6-week block, then a 7-week block, then I go away, technically deload the whole time, call it a deload if you're walking around and seeing things all the time and partying. And then coming back, we're doing 6-week blocks until pro raw, and then we taper. So that is the whole back end of my program. That's what's driving us at the moment. So that's it. I hope you guys got something out of it, or it gives you a good insight. Don't copy paste what I do, because it probably won't be ideal for you. And if you've got any questions, as always guys, you can either DM me privately or comment on this video, and I will get back to it. But thank you for watching. If there's anything more that you guys want me to go through on this end, just let me know. I'm happy to go through it. Like, comment, and subscribe. And thanks for watching guys. I really appreciate it. Catch you guys tonight in my next session.